There's one at the store that I might be working at that he was going to give it to me for $100.
Oh,
It's a 24-inch LG, and I've got
nice.
a 23-inch right now, and I have two monitors. But I've got like $25 in credit with my rewards stuff, so that's even better.
That's awesome.
So I'll
I'm
see
gonna
if
have to
I can
take care of
stretch,
that. Let me
see if
fix my
that'll work or
camera
not.
here just a little bit. Hello, chat room.
I get
Hello.
all of my windows
Fixing
ready.
the windows. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Yeah, it is nice. I mean, it's a little odd for us, but it's
Mm-hmm.
yeah. We're both in blue. What does that mean?
That's like a blue-gray for
Yeah, no
me.
kidding.
I do like that shirt. I wore it.
Odd for
Oh,
us, but
hello.
Hi. You can hear me.
Yep, I can hear you. There
You
you
can
go.
hear me. I've got a stray hair that's like
Got that muted.
there we go. As for this time here on out, it's a little harder for our schedules to do it this time. But we are possibly considering changing the day. Depends on a bunch of things. So we're considering changing to either Wednesday or Thursday evening, depending on some stuff. Marconin's still looking for a job, so that kind of one of those things that is stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So we're thinking possibly Tuesday, or I'm sorry, Wednesday or Thursday, but we won't make any changes until we know what is going on. So,
Ater Arts.
hi Terrarts, hi Zeph, and Girl of Mist, and Nymphadora, and Solomio, and Mike O'Hara, and hi guys. The thing about Sundays for us is like we switch from Saturday to Sunday, and it's been less than a year that we made that change, but it's like all of a sudden all these things are happening on Sundays. Easter Sunday and Super Bowl Sunday and Oscars are on Sundays and Mother's and Father's Days are on Sundays, and it's like this may not be a good day.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Sean. Hi. Yeah, we're on early today because Heroes of the Dorm is on in 2 hours, and we'd like to watch it. At least I would like to watch it.
Yeah. Well, I don't. I can't watch it.
Oh, you can't?
So no, I don't. I don't have TV, so
You know what you can
can't
do
watch
though? You can if you really want to, you can go onto slingtv.com and subscribe for their 7-day free trial. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
cancel it before before the 7 days are up. So if you did want to, because that's how I watched it last night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, are we doing a chat for that? Yes. In the Triple T Discord, there is a place in our Discord that we are talking about the games and getting all crazy and hyped up. And so, yeah, you can come to the Triple T Discord and go to the Heroes of the Storm chat channel, and it's pretty darn fun. Excited. So, yeah, that's why we're on early today, is because at least I want to watch Heroes of the Storm. I am rank 142 out of some 10 grand people on that bracket challenge.
Wow. What does that mean?
The top
Like what? Like the top what?
top 500 win an Asmodunk skin.
Oh, nice.
I know.
Is
So
it-
I'm like,
are you going to be able to purchase that normally?
yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, I think so.
Good.
So yeah, it's the I'm like, it's just like the bragging rights right now. It's like, I was doing a good, just challenging. So yeah. Oh, are we dropping frames? Because I'm lagging on my system here. Hang on. No dropping frames. Okay. Let me refresh my Chrome page. That is a really cool deal, Mike. Seriously. Working for the cable company to get the free stuff. Definitely.
Yeah,
All right.
that's not bad. Not a
That's
bad
awesome.
deal.
Chat room, let's test the soundboard and make sure it works. We're going to test the sound. Let's see right here.
Call your mother.
Call your mother. I know you call your mother.
Uh-huh.
Is it nap time?
Excuse me. Maybe.
Is it nap time for Marconin?
Maybe just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Me
I
do
slept
our
for
We
10
Are-
hours last night,
Dude.
so hopefully not.
Dude.
Yeah.
We do our We Are Live tweet. We are live. Twitch.tv/Tauren Think Tank. Boom.
I don't even know what I did this last week.
I'm trying to remember too.
I always go back to look at my Twitter, like, what do I have on here?
What did
What's
I
going on?
do?
What did I do?
I don't know. All right. Chat room, did you
Well,
hear
BlizzCon got announced.
Yes.
That's
We can
something.
talk about that. Ah, this stray hair that's just bugging the crap out of me. Get out of my hair, stray hair.
Oh, yeah, I know what happened. I can talk about it in the rating news.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that little piece of news.
Yeah.
Like hair everywhere. What the heck? Why am I shedding, people? Oh, stupid hair. Yeah, in capital letters.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good piece of news.
Well, can we talk about Tracer's butt?
If you want to. Because we all got to look at it this weekend.
Uh-huh. I was like, well, that's a happy compromise right there, the new pose.
That's right.
Yeah,
All
she's
right.
funky and her butt's there. Yay.
Yay! So, folks, I will get us started in just a second. Marconin, are you about ready to...
Yeah, let's see here. Actually, I'll let you talk about the DNS.
Okay. Yeah, that was pretty fun.
I'll throw that to you.
Okay. Okay.
And yeah, I think that's about it.
All
Make
right.
sure my phone is off.
And chat room, are you guys ready? Are you ready for poll? And now we wait. Tick-tock. Ah, there it goes. Who's got the quick internet speeds?
Ping test.
Ping test. There they go. Love you guys. You're the best. TVM pull 10. Yes. Ready. Pull for summon. Oh, summons? No. You get your butts there. You fly your butts to the raid instance.
Alrighty.
Okay. Then we're going to get this show on the road with our lovely chat room who is enjoying our early time today. It's not tonight yet. It's today. But we'll be firing this sucker off, doing a thing with the stuff. You don't have flying? Come on, Iturek.
Yeah,
You
there are a
had
lot
how
of
much
people.
time to get that flying?
It's been almost a year to get flying on one tune.
I know.
One.
I know. You guys saved my butt on that, by the way. I have to say.
Well, we do what we can, you know.
All right, guys, we're live with the show, counting it down in 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to Tauren Think Tank, the World of Warcraft podcast for you, the World of Warcraft player.
It's episode 183 of Tauren Think Tank. Today is Sunday, April 10th of 2016. It's 5:04 in the PM because we are weird and we are doing a show early, 3 hours early, in fact, because Jules is a nerd. My name is Jules. I'm a nerd, and he, on the other side of the camera of me, he's a nerd, but he's not as bad of a nerd as I am. Maybe, kinda, sorta. He's Marconin.
I think I'd say we're nerds, but with different things. You know, I'm extra nerdy with some things that you're not, and you're extra nerdy with things I'm not. So I think it balances out.
We balance each other out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's awesome.
Yep. So good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Jules. We are 3 hours early, so it's a little different, a little weird. But the reason why we're doing it 3 hours early is because of Heroes of the Dorm. This is going to be airing in like 2 hours.
I'm so excited.
So yeah, Jules is bouncing off the walls. I'm kind of jostling in my seat. I'm not quite bouncing off the walls yet. But it's going to be a great time. So if you guys can watch it, awesome. If not, then I understand. But yeah, so we're doing an early day today. And so Jules, it's great to be here. And I don't know, do you want to start it off with what you did this week?
Why the heck not? Because I never
Yeah.
do, right?
Yeah. Ladies first this week. We're
Why,
doing something
thank
different
you.
with the time, different with the order.
I like it. I like it. Yeah. So Heroes of the Dorm is tonight. I've been super stoked about that. Last night, sat down with the crew in Triple T Discord. We were talking about all the games. We were watching them. It was so much fun. And we had so much energy around it. I'm just excited to watch the games, but I'm more excited about the fact that I did the bracket challenge for Heroes of the Dorm, and I picked based off of kind of pure luck and also some knowing who some of the pros were playing on these dorm teams. And I am rank 142, I think, out of like 10,000 crazy people who have done this challenge.
Moly.
I know. I'm dying, kind of, because I mean, it's more about bragging rights because I get an Asmodunk skin. The top 500 people get an Asmodunk skin. The person who wins it all gets $10,000. I have no shot at that.
Oh, wow.
Right, but
Goodness.
apparently, I mean, I'm familiar with who is in contention for that $10,000 because they're hanging out in the Lords of the Storm Discord, which I've been hanging out with there just to check out the talk that they have about tournaments. And one of those guys is in there. So I was just like, he's like, yeah, if I pick my bracket right, I could win 10 grand. And I'm like, well, I could vicariously know the fact that you won 10 grand. Hey.
Yeah. I know the guy that won 10 grand once.
Right. So it's been awesome. It's been so much fun. And the heroes bug is big. It's crazy. I'm so into it right now, and you guys are probably sick of hearing me talk about it, but I'm sorry. It's just kind of where I am. I didn't participate in Hot Ladies Night this week because I got sick. It was the weirdest thing. I had a luncheon at work. They're catered in, really good food, and I'm sitting. They had like this lunch and learn session, and we're sitting there, and I just started getting really, really, really hot, sweating hot. And I said to my coworker, I'm like, "Is it hot in here?" And she goes, "No, but your face and your ears are like bright red." And then they started to burn, like my ears and my face, and my eyeballs were burning. And I'm sitting there, I go back to my desk and I'm trying to work and I'm trying to focus on month-end stuff that I'm doing at my job. And then I start to get dizzy and I'm like, oh no, like what did I eat? Ooh. And so they sent me home. They said, go home and sleep. I slept for 3 hours straight or something like that.
Ooh.
And that was not fun. It was out of my system by the next day. But I was down for the count. I was just, I'm not allergic to anything.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you if you had any food allergies.
None. I have a couple of intolerances to things, like if you eat it and your stomach kind of goes, whoa, like that kind of thing.
Why'd you do this to me?
Why did you eat this? But this, I've never had well, let me scratch that. I had a reaction like this probably 20 years ago to something. I still don't know what it was, but I wound up actually breaking out in hives from it after getting a migraine, vomiting, and then getting hives.
Oh, goodness.
And I had no idea what it was I've eaten. And it's been like 20 some years. Like I was still living in Illinois at the time, and it's never happened again. So in any case, I missed the Hot Ladies Night, which made me so sad. But we had an amazing kind of makeup thing with drinking and swearing this weekend on Friday.
We might have.
Marconin was there with us for drinking and swearing, and we played Overwatch. Oh my gosh, that was funny.
It was so much fun.
We were, the thing about it is we were doing custom games and they put me in charge of the custom games. And so I could do all of the modifiers to people. So I was having a blast, like making us play all Reapers or all random characters or, oh my gosh, people were dying laughing.
You just kept giving me the heroes that I had never played.
I know.
I don't know. Who is this again? I don't even know who this is. You gave me Zenyatta, and it was supposed to be that whenever you die and respawn, you get another character. I died 3 times. It kept getting Zenyatta over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? I can't do, no. It was a lot of fun, though.
It was so much fun. There was you guys, if you haven't watched us do drinking and swearing. It's something that Pat Crane and I do together on Fridays, and it's open to anybody who wants to come play with us. In this case, because Overwatch is still in beta, not everybody had the game. We felt bad, and not a lot of people, not everybody could join us, but those that did were having so much fun. At one point, Marconin whispered me after he killed me about 4 times on an opposite team and just said, "I still love you." Like,
yeah, every time I saw it eliminated Jules, I was like, "Here it comes. She's gonna say something to me, some bad words."
Well, and because it's drinking and swearing, there is a lot of swearing, and
there is.
And no one gets sworn at more than our dear friend Kalani.
Oh my goodness, dude, that Reaper.
His Reaper is something to behold, and I have a video that I will that I posted on my Twitter account, and I'll post it on the Triple T account so you guys can see it. That Kalani actually made of a compilation of his plays of the game as Reaper. Oh my gosh, that was fun.
It was.
Drinking and Swearing, we play a different game every week. So we've done everything from Heroes of the Storm, Overwatch, Rocket League, Quiplash, or other Jackbox games. We've played Loadout. I mean, it's different. We switch them up. We repeat games, but we play a different one every week. So if you'd like to come and hang out with us, it's on Friday evenings, twitch.tv/Zug. So that's a ton of fun. So I will say this. A ton of really cool stuff happened this week that I can't frickin' talk about. And It sucks.
No, you can't. I won't allow it.
And it sucks. But let me just tell you that there is really cool stuff coming in the next couple of weeks, months. And oh my God, it's so hard not to say anything about it. But I will, I promise. Yep. So I'm just going to squeal a little bit and say, really cool stuff happened this week, guys. I can't tell you about it. Okay, I'm done. So, Marconin, it's your turn before I spill.
don't spill the beans.
No, don't spill the beans.
Nope. Well, first of all, thank you everybody from the last episode, sending your thank yous and your warm thoughts and prayers and everything about all the stuff that happened to me the last few weeks with passing of one of my pets, and also my upcoming loss of job. But on the positive side, I've been putting out applications left and right, and I actually had 4 interviews in the last week. So nothing's official yet, but maybe. We'll see. So I may not be unemployed for very long, if at all, because I'm still employed for the next 3 weeks if nothing happens. So still, positive on that front. So that's one of the this week that I can talk about. Mm-hmm. And well, of the two of us, between Jules and I'm more of a WoW lore nerd than she is, just by absorption and playing the games and stuff. And I went and I bought the World of Warcraft Chronicle Volume 1, the one that just came out a month or 6 weeks ago or something like that.
Yeah.
And I've been digging into it, and man, is it cool. Like, even though I've known a good bit about the lore, they go back to the very beginning. This is like Genesis, all the way back. How everything begins, and they're really fleshing it out. And I can see some of the parts that they've stuck in there as a precursor to Legion, like with the Halls of Valor. They explained all that and who Odin is. And that once I learned all that, I was like, oh, wow, that fits in with this, which fits in with that. And he was there when this happened, and this is great. And so, yeah, I'm going through it. And, if you like to read, or if you just want to brush up on your lore stuff, I've got it right over here, brushed off camera. It's really cool to just fit it in, and it's just packed with stuff. Really cool stuff. And the coolest part about it is that you can just log into WoW and go to those places, and you're like, so that's where this happened and this happened there, and just really cool stuff.
Cool.
I learned stuff about Azeroth I never knew, and it just blew my mind. So I've been kind of, whenever I'm get some free time here or there every day or so, I read a little bit into it. And it's really good. And I'm on a raid team.
You are.
I am. The raid team is called Cat on Fire.
It is.
I'm pointing to my Cinder kitten over on my thing behind me. There. Cat on Fire. We have been working very hard over the last months in Hellfire.
Yeah.
We started out with the Hellfire Assault, and we trudged through, breaking through all the barriers of Hellfire Citadel, stomping Gorefiend into the ground, taking on Kilrog.
Oh, is that my cue for this?
Kilrog! We killed him. And we went through and we took down Manaroth and everybody, and we slayed Archimon on normal. And then we set our sights on heroic mode. So then again, once more into the breach we went. Through the Hellfire Assault, all the way in, battling our way up the Citadel, down the Citadel, back and forth every week, getting more gear, taking down Manaroth several times since he was on farm. And then, after hours and hours, this past Monday night, we slain heroic Archimon. We have cleared.
That calls for this.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Was but one small mage cog in a giant raiding machine. So, ladies and gentlemen, Cat on Fire has cleared heroic Hellfire Citadel.
Yay! Congratulations to Cat on Fire, my friends. It is awesome.
Everybody got their mooses.
Mises.
We got our mises and mooses. And it was a great time finally getting him down. I was on the Suicide Squad at the very last thing to go into the whatever that alternate realm is.
Yeah, that's
and they were like, just stay alive. And like Trellant was down there, I think, and he died. A bunch of people died, and I'm sitting there kiting the Void Walker, just running around, and people start screaming, and all of a sudden, boom, I'm dead and back up, and so is Archimon.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
So cool.
Congratulations.
It was so cool finally getting him down. And now we're not sure what we're going to do. But there's still several bosses in there on Heroic we haven't cleared yet. We haven't gotten Zul Harak down. We haven't gotten the Tyrant lady down. There's a couple we haven't done. But at least we got Archimon down. People have their moose, which was something we know we've been wanting to do for a while. So, yeah, got him down, and I'm very excited. I had already bought my moose run a while back because I was silly and had a hole burning in my pocket with that gold and had to go get it. So, yeah, that's right. Kalani said they sacrificed me, Trellant, and Bertner on the third banish just to get the DPS up. So,
you know what, though? That makes sense. It makes sense to, kind of move things around a little bit. So that is fantastic. Congratulations to you guys for the final kill and the Mises.
Yes, everyone's got their Mises, and we may do some fun runs and get some meta mount achievement runs in, or, we'll figure out what we're doing the rest of the expansion. So it should be a good time. We'll find out tomorrow night when we all log in. Excellent. So, yeah, just wanted to share that. And so, yes, thank you to everyone on Cat on Fire, both in the chat room that's here and everyone else that listens on the download. Thank you. Woo! Bring on Legion.
Bring it on. And hey, everybody kind of went berserk on the internet, but we all know BlizzCon got announced this week. Yes. Woo. And yes, we are going.
Yep.
We're going.
I'll do whatever I have to do to get a ticket.
Yep. And yes, there will be a well-played party. And yes, it's going to be amazing. And yes, things have begun. Planning has begun. So there goes all my free time. And it's for a good cause. So we're super stoked for Well Played, for the BlizzCon, for all the cool stuff that's about to come in November. It's pretty clear that it was gonna happen. It just took a while for the announcement to hit. So we were like, yes.
Yeah. I think they were just waiting to get all their ducks in a row. Probably there's probably a couple things they had to iron out. We knew it was coming.
Yeah. So it's going to be a blast, and we sure hope you guys are able to make it if you can. And if you can't, we are going to be able to live stream the Well Played Party from Anaheim. So you'll be able to see all the festivities going on there. And it's going to be amazing. It's going to be super cool.
And if you're local to the area, just like last year, all of the Well Played Party is not inside BlizzCon. So you don't have to have a ticket to go to BlizzCon to go to the party. You can just show up if you want to.
Yeah. I mean, you can travel to California and you can make a full weekend of it and not ever set foot inside the convention center. It's pretty cool because of the things that are going on.
Because everybody will be around. We're not in there all the time.
Yeah. It's going to be freaking amazing. So
be a good time.
Be good times. All right. What else? Okay. So speaking of Well Played, the Well Played Minnesota movie meetup is on June 11th this year. It's coming up 2 months from now.
Yes.
It's freaking awesome. And we are up to about 125 people that are confirmed to come. If you guys are waiting to hear about the hotel, I am this close. I have an agreement in my hand. I just have to give it back to them and then get the rooms, and we are good. So, boy, that was tough. That was really annoying to try to find rooms for this place, that are all together. So we've got this. If you want to know more about coming to see the Warcraft movie with a bunch of crazy, awesome Warcraft nerds and Blizzard nerds and people who love all of the podcasts that we do, and you'll be me and Marconin and Pat Crane and a bunch of people from the Minnesota area. They're coming from all over. So it's going to be amazing. Wellplayedparty.com. That's where that is. And finally, we always remind you guys, our community is available in Discord if you want to hang out with the Triple T crew on 24 hours a day, talking about all different kinds of things. You can go to tinyurl.com/TTTchat2. They are an amazing group of people. So that is that. All right.
Yep, we have a lot of fun in there.
Let us get rolling with our discussion topic of the night. And here it comes.
Let's kick around some... ideas, not gnomes.
The two of us are just bobbing to the music.
It's infectious.
All right, here we go with our first topic, which is a discussion topic. Dear Jules and Marconin, I have been playing WoW since April of 2007. When Warlords dropped in 2014, that was the first X-Pack that I was all in from the moment it went live. I rushed home from work every night, stayed up way too late, and just drank up the whole experience. I've had a 20-year friendship with a buddy of mine. We started out playing Civ 2 and Diablo 2, just him and I alone. The dynamic changed when we first started playing WoW, and I really failed to appreciate just what an MMO really was. Through 3 X-Packs, his attitude towards the game descended into Blizzard sucks, WoW is dying, players suck, they keep making this game easier type of mantra that seems to be a common thread in WoW history. I didn't have much pushback on it because it kind of felt tied in with our feelings about how society is falling apart and things aren't as good as they used to be and stuff. I don't think that way anymore. It really hit home when we were on a WoW break and miss and playing Diablo 3. I suddenly realized that I was having the same cruddy feelings that I was having while playing WoW, which was screwy since only he and I were playing. So without telling him, I resubbed to WoW, started playing again, and realized that I really enjoy the game when someone isn't bitching into my ear all the time about how bad everything is. Very quickly, it became, I don't want a game with my buddy anymore. I really, really don't know how I feel about this. He was off from work for over a month over the New Year, and I was almost literally hiding. I didn't want a game for fear it would eventually lead to gaming with him. I didn't want to talk about it, but I decided I needed to talk about it, and he swats away all of my attempts at this conversation. In talking with mutual friends and acquaintances, I think what he and I are experiencing now is what he experienced with every other gaming buddy or friend he's ever had. It makes me sad. It makes me angry. It makes me confused as hell. Really enjoy the show. Keep up the good work. From Torrance. And Torrance is our anonymous name, like Tauren, Torrance, just so you guys know. We always remind, because everybody seems to forget that they're like, it's Torrance, like Torrent. No, Torrance.
No, man, he sure writes in all the time, man.
I know. This guy writes us all the darn time.
So I am only slightly confused. I don't exactly see a question so much as just explaining the situation.
I think he wants to know what we can offer him in terms of our perspective.
Yeah. Okay.
I did have to edit this letter quite a bit because it was very, very rambly. Sorry, Torrance. And he knew it. He wrote that in there like 4 or 5 times. But I had to edit it down considerably, so I may have actually cut the last part of it out. So
yeah. But so it seems like he's got a friend who is kind of, I guess, toxic or like I don't know what he's saying about. He's had that experience happen with other gamer friends as well. Do they just get tired of his stuff and move on?
It sounds that way. What it sounds like is he's not alone in how he feels about this guy and how this guy, have you ever been around someone that just sucks all the energy out of a room?
Yes. Yes, very much so.
And so what he realized is that I didn't even know how bad it was until I got a chance to play by myself, and how much of a different experience it was for me to not have his constant energy of negativity surrounding me and coloring my thoughts.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's I've had similar situations. There's been people at work, and of course, at the time, my job was such that I had to travel with that person and stay in the same hotel room with that person. So it was constant for like 2.5 years, constantly. And I'm enough of an optimistic person that I balanced it out for the most part. But then we actually got like 2 more negative people on our team, and it was too much for me, and I had to go. That was one reason why I left the team on that part, because it was too much. It was too much. You hear negative stuff all the time, and you just get tired of it. Just like Torrance is saying, you can't, someone looks at a sunrise and said looks like crap, and I can't see. They look at a beautiful painting and say, what a waste of time that was.
Yep.
It's like, come on, dude. If you don't like the games, don't play.
Yeah.
Don't play the game. It's your $15 a month. It's your however much it is when you buy Diablo. If you don't like it, don't play it, and don't pay for it. Don't come griping to me. If all you've got to say is negativity, just shut up. Just shut up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of, that's kind of how I feel about it is, I mean, I understand the apprehension with wanting to play when they're around, because they'll want to play and then start sharing their negative feelings. But that's the point at which I think you've got to say something.
You have to.
You got to say something. You can't just let it lie. Be like, hey, dude, I understand you don't like this, but why do you play? Like, if you're just gonna gripe and moan about it, stop playing. I'm enjoying myself. Be quiet and enjoy the game, or don't and leave.
Yeah, there's a couple of things wrong with this person, and it and not Torrance, the other guy. Torrance is saying he's actually tried to talk to him about this. Every attempt at conversation, he swats away.
Yeah.
So if he's not willing to accept the fact that he is a problem, or that he's causing a problem, then your actions need to speak louder than words.
Yeah.
You can do, and it's going to be the range of what you're comfortable with. It's, obviously there's going to be a time where you're going to need to say something, but perhaps he'll get the message if he sends you a group invite and you ignore it or not answer it. Or if he messages you and says, yo, what are you up to? And you don't respond. And I'm saying this only because that at least will get him to sit up and notice you, instead of you just saying, I am just going to suck it up and deal with him, and he's going to do his thing. And when I say, yo, dude, what's up? Why are you acting this way? And he goes, it's, whatever. Just shoot that character over there, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I feel like going and having to hide from gaming just because you don't want to deal with the confrontation is hurting you more than it's hurting him.
Yeah, because you're wanting to enjoy your free time, and you can't because you got the apprehension that the other person will be around.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, even if you don't, I don't know that I would go so far as to just ignore them outright, but I would say, hey, you want to go do this? Nah, I'm okay. Just, say something, but turn him down. Say, nah, I'm just going to do my own thing for a while. I'm just going to do these mount runs. I'm just going to do this Greater Rift and then go to bed or whatever,
Why is that any different than ignoring him completely? Because you're not telling him the truth either way.
Well, I mean, to me, ignoring seems worse than saying you don't want to play with him and just saying, nah, I'm okay. I'm just going to do my own thing for a while. It seems worse for me to just flat out ignore somebody, but to each their own,
Yeah, I mean, I just look at it now. Let me be clear. I'm always the kind of person that if someone is just driving me crazy and I don't want to deal with them, at some point where I'm going to get to the point where I'm going to just say, we're done. I'm sorry. This isn't working for me. I need to do my own thing. We're done. And if he's not willing to listen to that part of it, my guess is that Torrance hasn't really been, yo, if you keep doing this, I'm not going to spend any time with you. Like straight on in your face, like, I need to
just
tell
lay it
you,
out there.
I've had enough of your shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And
yeah, go ahead.
I think if you don't, you know, if you haven't flat out just told him, then it's only going to get worse. You're going to get even more apprehensive. You're just going to start dreading it more and more, and something's going to give eventually.
Yeah. Yeah, and nobody's perfect at this. A lot of us have people who are in our lives that we tolerate because it's easier than having to sit down and say, you need to do something about your behavior because it's driving me crazy. So that's the thing. I know I'm guilty of being avoidant versus actually facing onto it. I've done it.
So have I.
Yeah. So I totally get where he's coming from. But when it gets to the point where you're avoiding doing the task just because you may run into this person and have to explain to them you don't want to do something, then there's a real problem. Because now it's affected your behavior and the time that, affected the time you feel like you can spend. So, and Tiber must have read in my mind. He just said, well, is this friendship even going to continue? That's exactly where I was just about to go. Like, if you don't care anymore, if you don't care that this guy may just shut you out of his life, because it's like, hey, good riddance to bad rubbish, then you can just kind of pop off and just say, I'm done. I'm sorry. I've tried to talk to you and you won't listen to me. And I'm sorry. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah. I mean, and it may be for the best in the end. I know you've been playing games with him for a very long time, 20 years, in fact. I don't know if you just know each other online or if it's something, if it's like a physical friendship as well. But if it's just online, then, there are other games one day if he decides to kind of, not be so negative all the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, either way, if he won't talk, then just leave it. Just leave it. Just set the friendship down and leave it. And if he comes to you like, oh, now you want to talk. Okay. Remember when I said this and this? You're being extremely negative, and it's like, I understand, but there's a point at griping constructive criticism at a game. I have beef with games too. I have beef with Overwatch. I have beef with Heroes of the Storm and all those other games, Hearthstone, everything. But I don't let it completely control how I enjoy the game. I still enjoy the game on the whole, and I still find things to enjoy about it. Yeah, WoW is boring right now, but I'm finding things to make it interesting.
Yeah, because you choose to.
Yeah, because I want to, because
right.
it may be that his friend is just, I saw somebody in the chat said psychic vampire. Maybe that's one of the thing like that they just feed off of being negative all the time. That's just their natural state of being, and that may be the case, in which case you really don't need to be around him, because that's not what you want, and it's only bringing you down.
One other point I want to make about this, and I think that it's something that we all are guilty of, myself included, is that when you think about a 20-year friendship or something of that nature, you automatically go to, I've spent 20 years being friends with you, and now I'm going to stop being friends with you because of X, Y, or Z. And what it is, it's the time invested principle. We think that because we've invested that amount of time into a relationship or a friendship, goes for any of them, romantic, platonic, you think about the time invested and you say, well, I've put in this much time, therefore I can't just let it go. Or I can't just extract myself that easily because there's a history there. But if the history has been nothing but negative, when it's longer of things that are negative, and Rulo just said it, it's the sunk cost fallacy. You've said, I've put in this much money or time, I've invested this much, I might as well continue on because I've given that time. And it is something that we will do to ourselves all the time. And you have to remember that it's your life, and it doesn't matter it doesn't matter if you were friends with that person since you were a baby. It doesn't matter if you've been friends with them for 1 year. If they make you unhappy and you want them out of your life, there is no difference.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, and it is something, I'm guilty of the same thing. I've let that rule my decisions in the past before. So I've definitely fallen victim to that.
Me too.
And at this point for Torrance, it'll be okay if you go ahead and decide to distance yourself from that person. I mean, if he wants to approach you about it, then he will. If not, then he won't.
Yeah. Kalani just talked to me in chat to say, remember the need for drama article. He sent me this article that is, and I had glanced at it and I didn't read the whole thing because it was during work and I didn't get a chance to read it fully. But basically what it was is he and I were having a conversation about people who require drama in order to feel like they are doing something productive. And that they produce drama, that they incite drama, that they attract drama. And it was a psychological study that was very, very interesting. And now, of course, I can't remember any of the details of it. But the point being is that there are people out there who do this subconsciously and consciously to want to be, to feel important, to feel like they do things that are recognized with people for attention. And that negative energy is the drama. It's the drama circle. Yeah. Kalani, if you find that article, can you post that in the chat? Because I know he has it somewhere. It really is a powerful thing with someone who is a negative force. When it's that negative energy, I can't stand negative people who gripe all the time, who just have something negative to say about everything. It drags me down, and I literally have to physically pull myself out. Like, I have to just say, I can't be around this. I don't want to be around this. And it's
yeah. I know a guy that would look at a beautiful sunset and gripe about it. And just go off on some curse-ridden tirade about anything, everything. The smallest thing would set him off, and it was just unbearable. It was unbearable to be around that for long.
It is, because what they're looking for you to do is to agree with them and reinforce them.
Yeah.
And that's where mob thinking comes in. There's mob mentality and groupthink. And
the guy got so mad at me one time because it was one of those things where every situation he would just gripe about it, and I would be like, well, I mean, have you thought about this? And I would kind of use a balanced approach to the argument. And finally, at one point, he was just like, damn it, dude, will you stop being so effing positive? Would you just not be a ray of sunshine all the time?
Yeah.
I was like, sometimes. Not always, but sometimes.
The thing that I noticed too, though, is that, like, okay, so for me, there are days where I really want to vent to somebody because I'm having a tough time or a bad day or something like that, and I just want to vent. And those times are a lot rarer than me wanting to, be positive and upbeat and friendly. So when I get to that point, I'm like, you just need to listen to me, bitch. Yep. And what I don't want is for you to solve my problem. What I don't want is, all I want you to do is just to say, dude, I am so sorry. That sucks. And I would totally feel the same way that you do. And then suddenly I feel better. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But what if I were doing that all the time?
Yeah. Then it's not, you're not really venting anything. Because you're not getting it out. You're just griping.
I'm just griping for the sake of griping.
Yeah. Just a reason to find something to yell about or gripe about. And it doesn't make it any better. That's what venting is supposed to do, is you're supposed to get it out. That's why it's called venting.
Yeah.
But then you're just bitching at that point if you don't ever do anything else.
Exactly. And man, it sucks when you are the person who has to receive that all of the time. Because there's just not a lot of things that someone can do with that level of information. And that, Marconin knows that if I'm griping at him, it's because something really got to me. And the same for him. Like, it's, we're both pretty upbeat and positive people. So if something really got to us, we'll just text to each other and just say,
yeah, just do for like 3 messages.
Yeah.
Then
we're done, and it feels better because somebody heard what you had to say and they felt your pain and they were just like, yeah, that's awesome. Yep. So for Torrance, your focus at this point is you.
Mm-hmm.
Not him. It's you.
You're letting him ruin your gaming time.
I think it's going to be a choice of you to make whether or not this friendship should survive. Again, with the sunk cost principle, thinking about it as a 20-year friendship, and boy, should I continue going on with this or not. Not if it's making you sick. You're hiding. And so those are the things that I would focus on in that front, is to say, look at what this is doing to me, because it's okay. You're the only person you're responsible for, not his feelings. So
no, you can't do anything about that, especially if he comes to you and gripes about something and he doesn't take any advice to heart, or he doesn't listen to anything that you say about it. It's definitely not worth your time.
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't want to hear it get fixed. He doesn't want you to do anything to help fix it. He just wants to gripe.
Exactly.
And you can't do anything with that.
Well, you can't do anything with that on a common basis. If he thinks that Blizzard is failing and WoW is dying and people suck, what can you do to fix that?
You can't. I mean, that's not an issue. It's an opinion.
Yeah.
So
just, yeah, it's very, very frustrating. It's draining, and it's unfair to you. And it's okay to say, I would prefer to surround myself with people who don't do that to me on a regular basis.
Yeah. You would be perfectly all right in doing so.
Yeah. I mean, we both, Marconin and I, we're very lucky that we are surrounded by such positive people in our worlds.
Yes.
And it wasn't always like that for us.
No.
So when you realize it, and it's like, this isn't working out, and that person is no longer in your life, or those people are no longer in your life, boy, it makes a big difference.
Oh, does it?
It makes a big difference. So
yeah.
Good luck to you, Torrance. We hope that this helped you with a little bit of perspective, helped you through this struggle that you're dealing with, and lets you enjoy your game time again.
Oh, yeah. And let us know how it goes. Get back on there. Start playing some more. Enjoy your time.
Enjoy WoW, man. Legion's
enjoy
coming,
WoW.
And you'll get to do all
Not
the
a lot
good
of
things.
people can say they enjoy WoW right now. And if you can enjoy WoW right now like I can, by golly, get on there. Because when Legion comes, you're going to have a whole lot of new stuff to do, and you're not going to be able to go back and do all that stuff just yet.
Exactly.
So, yeah, have fun. Get in there.
Get in there and let us know how it goes. We'd love updates, as always. That is something we very much enjoy. So questions@torrenthinktank.com. That's our email address, and that's how you find us.
Yeah.
All right, sir. Question number 2. As soon as I find my soundboard and where I put it. There we go. Here we go.
Tauren between options? Let Triple T help you sort it out.
It's Think Tank time, otherwise known as Tink Tank time.
Tink Tank time.
Tink Tank time. And here's our question for the week. Hello, my 2 favorite hosts. Triple T question for you, anonymous, please. I just listened to last week's show and the bit about parents not respecting the opinions of their adult child. It got me thinking about an issue with my mother. I want to set new boundaries with my mother, but every time I try to do that, something seems to happen, and I feel like she is my go-to place for certain things. I want to change our relationship from a dependent, unhealthy one. She is very dependent on me and emotionally needy. The only way I've been able to reduce this is from not living with my parents and not really hanging out with her too much over the last year, a couple of times a month at most. I feel as though my mother has always held me back from really letting me be who I am. She has a very hard time with my growing as a person and still treats me much like a teenager or child, especially when we are around other people or my significant other's family. She always feels the need to tell me how proud of me she is, how great I look, that she loves my hair or the way I dress, etc., etc. She never stops with the praise, and to her, I can do no wrong. But for some reason, this bothers me. It's like she never really sees me as a flawed human. I share my feelings about life, dreams, goals, ups and downs with her, but the constant praise never stops. She is my biggest cheerleader, but it doesn't always feel like that is what I want or need from my mother. I don't know how else to describe it. Any ideas on how to reestablish long-standing unhealthy boundaries and not letting my mother dictate who I am to such a large degree? I just want to be who I am and not let her make me feel guilty for that. Thanks, from Katie Derry. Anonymous female writer.
Do we know how old The
I
caller,
believe she
the
is
writer
in
is.
her 30s.
Okay, so around our ballpark.
Yeah, I know who this is, but
Okay.
yeah, so I believe she is
Yeah.
in her 30s, her early 30s.
Okay. Well, my mom is always full of praise for me. Sometimes I think too much because it's a lot, and I'm not perfect. I know I try my hardest, and but it's not it's not an unhealthy amount. Kind of what it's coming over from here, so I can kind of understand where she's coming from to a point.
This is
So,
actually really hard for me to understand, but I think I understand. So I'm kind of curious for you to tell me a little bit more about what you're feeling about, and this is nothing negative about Mama Conan. It's just,
oh
what
no,
does it
not at
make you
all.
feel like when you get the praise that you don't think you deserve?
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's something kind of self-deprecating about myself that I don't see the praise, or if it's something like, I'm not. It seems like getting put on a pedestal is what
Okay.
it kind of is. Kind of what it is akin to feeling like sometimes. Uh,
That you really don't
so
know who I am because you're calling me these great praised names and
in a
I don't
in a
believe it,
sense,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
In a sense, I know, like, my mom is my biggest cheerleader too, and I love her for it. But like I said, it's not as extreme as this is, because my mom's not like exceedingly needy or anything like that.
Yeah.
I can still be my own person and still do my own thing, but I still do watch my language when I'm around her because she's my mom, and I
I do
love my
not
mom.
do that with my parents. I swear too much around my parents, but that's,
I can't do that. I'm still afraid I'll get soap in a bar of soap.
So, okay, let's talk about that for a second.
Not
No, no,
seriously,
no,
but
no, 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 no. No, you just feel but what it is a
uh oh.
feeling of there really hasn't been a split between her seeing you as an adult necessarily, like between that. I think that's what Katie is dealing with right here.
Oh yeah, I definitely know it's what she's dealing with. I mean, it's not that bad for me, because my mom understands. I mean, I've grown up, I've moved out and everything, but I still love and respect my parents, and I'm still, I'll do anything for them, bend over backwards for them, and I make sure that they're taken care of. So it's just one of those things.
Yeah. I mean, from my perspective, my parents are very, very complimentary of me and tell me how proud they are of me. But they will
Hmm.
let me know if they don't appreciate or agree with a decision that I've made. They will be honest with me and tell me that, and we may argue and we may disagree. But there's always going to be a situation where we just say, they say, you're an adult and you will make your own decisions. This is how we feel about it. And this is not what we would have done, but that's your choice and we respect it. Like, that's the
Yeah,
relationship that I have with them.
yeah. I've never come across that in my life
Okay.
yet with my
Okay. So this
parents,
is why
because
we're
I
understanding
mean we
this
haven't.
differently.
Yeah, because I mean, there's never been there. I haven't really done anything that's really just gone against the grain where we would argue about stuff like that. Not since I was a teenager, and teenagers can be teenagers. So,
Yeah.
not since then.
I
I'm
moved
a
halfway
pretty
across the country away from my
yeah.
family, and got into video gaming for, big time, and then did this and, things that they didn't understand or know. And they've always been supportive of that, but they just didn't get it,
Hmm.
it was that kind of thing.
Yeah,
So
but they get it now.
oh, they do. And they're most likely watching right now. But, and they will admit this too. In the beginning, they didn't understand it and they didn't
Hmm.
watch it and they didn't know about it. And then there was a reconnect between us and they understood what it was that I did. And they will now ask me when we do our weekly Skype call, what's coming up on the show this week. And they'll tell me what they think. My dad will flat out tell me he thinks I was not hitting the right marks on a question that I answered,
Yeah,
but I'll have a conversation with him about it and he'll say,
yeah,
oh, I just wanted to know more about what you were thinking there because I didn't quite get it, And so it's conversation. It's a
yeah.
conversation between adults. Now for Katie Derry, when she's sitting there and she's saying, oh, I love your hair and I love your clothes and I love the way you dress and I love all of these things, but she doesn't ever tell her how how you feel like someone is just kind of shooting you flowers and sunshine up your butt. You just think
Yeah.
that they're not really being real with you. That's what I think she's talking about here.
Yeah, I would think so too. I would think that that's. I don't know if it's. See, I don't know because I'm not a mother. I don't know if you don't noticed, but I'm not a mother, so I don't know. I don't know how it is to have a child and have that much adoration. Granted, it's it's just you're a proud mom or a proud dad,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes it can be too much. Our caller. Keep saying caller. I don't
Caller.
know why. Yeah, our writer, and it's just it's hard for me. It's hard for me to see where the parents would come from just beaming ear to ear about their child and not seeing their flaws, even though they are human and they have flaws too. Maybe it's just I don't know what the mother's deal is. Maybe
Well,
maybe a slightly possessive thing still, like not seeing them as an adult and still considering them as just their kid.
yeah. Well, here's
And
here's
not their own
my
person.
theory
Mhm.
on this. My ex-mother-in-law was very much like this, where you could see her say one thing, but you knew the truth was behind it, and it was not the same as what she was saying.
Mm.
And she refused to actually be able to speak the truth. And even when she was like, you know, directly pressed to say, I want your honest opinion about this, even if you think it's going to hurt me, she still couldn't do it because she
Yeah.
didn't know how. And, there are people out there who just have a visceral reaction to being honest. And when you are someone who is like Katie, and I think Katie is thinking she has opinions about me that she's not verbalizing, but I can tell that they're there, and I wish she would just say them.
Yeah.
Instead, she covers them with these false praises in her, like maybe they're true. Maybe she means I love your hair, but behind it, it's I wish that you would be this, or I wish that you would say this, or I wish you would do this, but I'm too inept or incapable or whatever it is to say it
It's
out
like
loud.
a backhanded compliment.
Possibly. And so it's like someone who has a good BS detector knows when someone is being fake with them.
Yeah.
So think about that being your parent. When you think that your parent is definitely not being honest with you about how they feel, they're just kind of gritting their teeth and bearing it, or they're just covering it with something else, and you wish you could just shake them and say, will you just be honest with me for once in our lives and tell me what you think? Because at least then I will know what it is you're saying. That's my theory.
Mm-hmm.
And I went off on a tangent there, but yeah.
Oh well, no, it's okay. And I'm thinking, I've known some very possessive mothers, just mothers of friends who are very possessive, and it seems like for them it stems from an insecurity about themselves, to where they have to latch onto their children to feel secure and feel validated and feel worth anything.
Yeah.
They're not because growing up, growing up, all my friends would say, hi, hey, Miss Marconin's mom, not Marconin, of course, but they, say my name and say, hey, you're so and so's mom, you're so and so's dad, and that was her identity through all of my friends. They didn't know her name,
Right.
but then after you graduate and stuff, then and you move out, then you're kind of your own person again as a parent. You've got to kind of refine yourself post kids. At least that's my kind of idea. For some parents, it may be different. And other parents in the chat room, you can help me out with this one because I'm not a parent either. I'm not a mom or a parent.
Thing. Very
so,
common.
I mean, it's kind of an empty nest type thing. You don't know how to reconstruct who you were before and who you are now and reconcile those two, where you're still you, but you have kids too. You're not just, and so it seems like she's still tethered to Katie, still tethered to her pretty hard, and is still kind of, with all the compliments, it seems like she's kind of, even more so than putting her on a pedestal, kind of treating her like a trophy on the wall.
Yeah.
Like just bragging, like, look at this. I won this Oscar in 2007 for my work in this film. Oh, and it was so wonderful. And you should have been there. Look at how great it is. And it's such a good job. Look what I spawned. I have children. They are wonderful. Look at her hair, and it's just showering with compliments because, this is your greatest creation. And for a lot of parents, that's how they feel about their kids. It's the best thing they ever made,
Sure.
and so they want it to be they want their kids to be the best that they can be. They want to see them outshine even their parents' own shadow. You know, they
Yeah.
want to stand in their children's shadow because they're so much better than they were and just idealized. And I think I'm thinking maybe this is kind of the direction that the mom's coming from. That's the way it seems to me anyway.
Well, you make a
But
really good point because there is a clue in here that speaks
mhm,
directly to that. Her mother is very dependent on her and emotionally needy. So, a lot of times when that happens, you have someone who will give, if I praise you and I give you tons of compliments and always treat you very kindly, you won't want to leave me and you won't
yeah,
want to back away from me because I'm being super nice to you. But in that respect, it's manipulation.
yes, yeah,
It's not true. It's not, I mean, what she's saying, she probably means it, but not with the intention that should be there. It's a matter of keeping you blocked into her, not necessarily, because I mean, my family, we live so far away, and my parents tell me all the time how much they would love me to move back to New Jersey, and unfortunately, I have to say no just because I know that it's not the right place for me to live. As much
yeah.
as I love my family, I have to be, and they get that. But it doesn't stop them from saying to me, you could come back and live here. And I roll my eyes and I go, yeah, Dad, I know. And my mom goes, I
Yeah.
miss you so much, honey, and I want you to be there. And I know, Mom.
Yeah, I get the same thing from my mom every once in a while. It's like, well,
Exactly.
you could move back here. They have a radio station in town. You could take over when the other guy dies or whatever. It's like, I know, and we'll see.
Yep.
We'll see.
Yep.
But yeah, and as far as being who you want to be, I'm wondering what specific things that her parents aren't letting her be.
Yeah.
Because if she's in her 30s and she's moved out and she only sees them every once in a while, is it your own apprehension at thinking what your parents will think that is keeping you from being you? Like, what's the deal? What's stopping you from being who you want to be? If
Yeah.
it's a fashion decision or if you want to dye your hair or something, you are in control of your own destiny, and it's not their decision to do whatever. I mean, it might be your fear of of their parents not accepting you. That's definitely a big thing. So I'm just kind of wondering what things, what kind of things it could be that you're not being you at right now. That, if your mom stopped complimenting you all the time or stopped seeing you as this idealized person, what would you change to be you? That's
Yeah.
kind of what I'm wondering.
Yeah. And it's the exact right question, because if whatever that is, and you ask then, what are the consequences of me doing that?
Hmm.
If the consequence is that my mother will throw a fit on the floor, kicking and screaming, and tell me that I'm an ungrateful child who never gave her anything, I mean, that's extreme. But what I'm saying is that what the picture in your head is, that my mother is going to yell at me or disown me or cry to me or tell me I'm ungrateful, and can I live with those consequences?
Yeah.
Because it's
Whew.
your life, not theirs.
Yeah. And then that just goes into their court for them to accept that you are your own person.
Yeah.
And it seems like that the mother's not really doing that.
Yep.
I mean, if I don't, have you really talked to her a lot about this? I'm trying to go reskim the letter again just to make sure, but
And I think that she says, every time I try to set new boundaries with my mother, something seems to happen. And then I feel she is my go-to place for certain things. So that to me speaks of codependency.
yeah,
Because you're dependent on her and she's dependent on you. And it becomes this vicious cycle. So you have to find a way to break that cycle.
yeah. If some of those situations arise where you think your mother is the only one you can talk to, ask around, ask your friends. Like, look, I've got this thing going on. Do you guys have any advice? Can I just talk to you about it? Give it a chance. Test the waters. You don't have to just run straight to your mom about it. Try it with other people if you can and see how that goes. Because I understand, and I call my mom and I talk to my mom every so often as well. I confide in her because she's my mom and I love her and she loves me. But it's not an everyday thing. Like, I don't call her every day or every week telling her every little thing that's going on because I'm my own person. And in these situations, you got to kind of create the barrier yourself
Mm-hmm.
and be strong in that barrier. Don't jump to call her at the first onset of an issue. Talk to your significant other if you have one. Talk to your friends. Talk to other family members,
Mm-hmm.
even.
And if you need to,
Talk
get
to
a
a coworker
therapist and
or a therapist.
get a therapist and start talking about them there.
Yeah, might not be a bad idea anyway, just for the situation.
Exactly. There's a you've got years of time where this relationship has set the groundwork got laid a long time ago when you were a child, and as you've switched to teenager to adult, and that pattern doesn't change, you're undoing so many years of pattern.
Yeah.
So, and that's
You're interrupting the
hard.
status quo.
Yeah. And when you make a realization about the person that you are and the person that you would like to be, and maybe they don't line up, you've got to change that. And it's, the same thing as I don't, like saying, I want to start going to the gym 3 times a week, so I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week, and you do that. And if you say, I want to be less dependent on my mother, so I don't want to call her every time I have a problem or if I need help or that kind of thing, then I'm going to do that. It's the same things.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you have to say, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, and just be committed to it.
Mm-hmm. And have a plan, like Marconin said. Like if you, who is there another person in your life where you can redirect that tendency towards? Who can fill that void for you? That's going to be a good planning out to have as well. You break the pattern.
Yep. I mean, there's times when the first person I tell an issue about is to Jules. I'll talk to her first because she's right there at the end of the phone.
Yep.
I won't necessarily run to anybody else first, but like, oh man, this thing just happened. What do you think? And she'll do the same for me. And you just kind of spread out to different. You've got to have like a web of people you can call on if you need them, and not just have one person that you go to for it.
Yeah.
So on these things that you would usually jump to your mom, just try out other people. That's
and it's
that's,
okay. It's hard to, the other part about it is that it's hard to find somebody that is the confident level of, for you to say, I feel comfortable bringing this to you because it's a risk, if it's someone that you don't know well, when you've gotten those people in your life and you know that they're there and you know that they are always going to be there when you need them, or, there's people in my life that I know I could send this person a message at any time of day or night and they would respond to me and they would get back to me, and that's awesome. And it would be huge. And there's other people who I say, I would send a message to them, but I know that this is probably not a good time for them because they're going through their own stuff. And I'm going to be conscious of keeping this back and maybe talking about it at another time, or, that kind of thing, And it's taken a lot of time and careful cultivation to find those people. And it's a good thing to have. And one person only being your mom, it's awesome to be best friends with your mom when you're an adult if there's a perspective. Hello, Miss Pixie.
Cat encounter.
Cat incoming. I just feel like there is and she's calling it, she's saying there is a bad level of relationship here that needs to be corrected for us to both be adults.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You're already doing some steps by not being around her as much, and that's a big first step. It's just keeping it going.
Yep.
Kind of just slowly separating yourself, not talking to her as much. Don't ignore her. But I mean, and if you can sit down and talk with her at some point too,
yep,
I think that might help.
And knowing that having a conversation with her is going to be challenging. Because she's not willing to be honest with you, it's going to be a challenge. So the other thing is, I will recommend once again the Crucial Conversations book that we talked about in the last episode that you heard about the parents. I recommend that for you, Katie, because I think that is a very, very good opportunity to start looking at how to phrase things in a way that works right for you and your mom. You both have different communication styles, and everybody does. So there's not one right way to do this. because people react to things differently, they take in information differently. Some people get like automatically defensive and want to fight. Some people say, well, you must be right and I'm wrong, and therefore there, and then there's the conversation shut down. So
I mean, and you know your mother better than any of us, so you know how she will take it, and you know how to approach things, or at least try to approach things to make it a little bit easier of a transition.
Exactly.
Or and then to letting her know who you are and who you want to be. And it's kind of a take it or leave it type of situation. Like, I really want to dye my hair black and do a pixie cut. If that's the thing, then you just got to tell her, and then just go do it. You're like, hey, so yeah, it's, I think I've heard it said before, it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. So this might be one of those situations.
Okay, by the way, I hate that.
Oh, you do?
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry.
No. And here's the thing. In most situations, I hate that. Because it's avoidant and it's manipulative. But she doesn't answer to her mom when it comes to her hair.
No.
So my boss is a guy who does asking for forgiveness without permission, and it is, it's like, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than ask for permission. And it's like, no, you could just ask for permission and be respectful of somebody else. Like, it's a business relationship. That's why I hate that.
In that case,
But she doesn't answer to her mom when it comes to her hairstyle, or the person that she dates, or where she decides to live, or what kind of work she does. She doesn't answer to her mom on any of that. She's her own person.
No, I mean, if she wants advice, she can ask for it, consider it, and then disregard it if she doesn't want to do it.
Right.
And that's going to take a lot of strength on your side, Katie. And I really hope that things get better, and you can let us know how it goes, and try to keep a positive relationship with your mother while letting her know that, yes, you are a flawed human being, and you want to do your own thing, but you still love her.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing my parents ever did for me was to be honest with me and treat me like a person, and tell me when my decisions weren't something that they agreed with. And as a headstrong teenager, I didn't want to hear what they had to say. No. I didn't want to agree with them. I mean, that was my decision, not theirs. It's my life, not yours. But the level of, when you start to learn the level of respect between two adults, or three adults, mom, dad, and child, and you can actually speak to each other respectfully and disagree respectfully, which is an art form, people.
Yes, it is.
Seriously, my goodness, internet, what the hell is wrong with you lately? That's a discussion for a whole other time.
Oh, that's a whole other can of worms.
One of these days, we're grabbing on that can of worms again. You guys got a question about internet bullies and arguments? Bring it. Let's talk about it, because I'm ready to fight. No, I'm kidding.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding,
Round
ding.
1, fight.
And so those are the things that I think is going to be helpful for you, Katie, is to try to reestablish those boundaries to make you feel comfortable with your relationship together.
Definitely. And I wish you the best at it, too.
Yeah, and I hope that she'll give us an update, because I know who she is, and she tends to do that when I've gotten information from her before. So, yes. So thank you, Katie, for writing in, and we hope that we've been helpful to you. If you have perspective, feedback, anything you'd like to share with us about this letter, you can do so at questions@taurenThinkTank.com. That's our email address.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you can also, on our Discord server, there's a room called Discussion Topics. So if you want to just go in there and chat about what we talked about this week, just join our Discord again and do that. Yeah. And I think the link was tinyurl.com/tttchat2.
That's correct. There we go.
Yeah.
And let's switch some gears and do some Tell Us One Thing right now.
We read your submissions because reading your mind would just be creepy.
It is Tell Us One Thing. This is the part of the show where you guys send us questions about pretty much anything, and we just chat it up. And it can be World of Warcraft or gaming or whatever. Kind of fun. Yeah. Start us off with the first one.
This one comes from Tom M. Has anyone tried a Worgen Druid in RP? how did they explain the whole precurse nature attunement and shape-shifting ability? So, like, how do you explain Worgen druids before they were Worgens? So, because humans can't attune themselves to nature. That's why we don't have human druids. Because they lack that ability. Like, they're not able to attune to nature, but the Worgens can for some reason.
Well, maybe because they can transform already, that gives them the connection to nature because they go from human to wolf.
Yeah. Well, and I'm thinking, because when you do the Worgen experience, the first few levels, you don't have the curse. You're just a Gilnean. And so you could say, there's any number of reasons you could roleplay that a human Gilnean could have an attunement to nature. I mean, it could be something that, maybe the Gilneans had that tendency. Maybe something way back and Kalani said in the chat room, at least in the lore, it's harvest witches, which I don't know.
I don't know what that is.
That they could you've got the ability to shape shift and turn into animals. It may be, I don't know. I think it's kind of splitting hairs on it. I don't think it's as much of a big deal, which I know it is kind of a big deal, but precurse nature, see, that's because I don't really role play. I understand the lore, but
Shorel MN in the chat room said RP podcast all say to ignore RP during most of the leveling you do. So
okay.
Yeah, and I apologize. I am not a lore or RP person per se, so I don't have a lot of input on that except to say Blizzard thought it was cool.
Yeah, because it'd be good to have a Worgen druids were cool, and I think maybe within the lore you could say that you didn't get your nature attunement until after you got bit, because the ability to turn into a Worgen puts you more in tune with the primal energies and the emerald dreams slightly. Mm-hmm. So if you already have a tendency towards nature in your human pre-curse form, when you got bit, it just enhanced all of those abilities to where you could tap into the emerald dream and you could start doing the shape-shifting stuff and all that. I think maybe that's a way you could explain it.
Okay.
That works for me.
Hey,
so
we'll take it.
Sounds good.
Okay, we'll take it.
We got it.
The creepy one, while it's still very early, who do you think or hope will be the musical performance that will close this year's BlizzCon?
Weird Al Yankovic.
Oh, gosh.
Come on, Blizzard, let's do it.
Let's do it.
We would pack the house. I would actually go to the musical music thing this year if it was Weird Al. I've never been to any of them. I'm just like,
I haven't been to any of them either. Mainly, you know why I don't go is just because I have so little precious time socializing with everybody that it's like that Saturday night is the time where, up until this point this year, I've had to leave on Sunday. And so it was that I need to have as many moments as I can with these people before I go home again and don't see them. So, and there's been no band that I've been just like, I have to see them or I will not forgive myself.
That's kind of how I am too.
So Weird Al is a perfect choice.
Yeah, I would take him. I would definitely go and see him. Now, if I'd gone the year that Tenacious D was there, I would probably have gone to that because
that would have been a fun show.
I like Tenacious D. But, Metallica, Blink-182, Linkin Park, those are big names. I've listened to their music for years, and I'm cool with them, but it's not, like you were saying, I'd rather hang out with my friends than go to that for a few hours because we have so much. So we're only together for 2 or 3 days a year, people.
Yeah.
That's like nothing. That's like 1/3% of the year.
I know.
We were together. And you've got to make the most of it.
I will, I'm Marconin too, but I'm so busy during BlizzCon, like crazy busy during BlizzCon that I don't get enough time to spend with anybody. And so, it's just kind of par for the course for the things that I've chosen to do. So I have to prioritize what it is that's most important to me. And so that's why I don't do it. So I honestly cannot think of a band that would make me. I can't think of who it would be that would just be like, I can't miss this. Maybe Aerosmith?
Phil Collins,
which would never happen. Aerosmith, I would watch.
They couldn't afford him.
Because I went and
Aerosmith, yeah.
I saw Aerosmith like 12 years ago here in Madison, and it was amazing.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I think I would choose Aerosmith as my choice.
Yeah. I can respect that. I like Aerosmith. I'd probably go and listen for a little bit of that.
That's fun. It was a fun show.
Oh yeah.
So definitely.
Definitely. They're legends.
Nymphadora is making fun of Phil Collins. I know he's not the right choice for BlizzCon, but he is my favorite artist. So I'm sorry.
You can't stand still when Susudio's playing.
Oh gosh, I love that song so much. I'm such a nerd. Like seriously, I am a nerd, and that's I just love Phil Collins a lot. He's not the right choice for BlizzCon. I get it, but if he were there, I'd be glued to that stage. That's what happened. So
be right up there cheering and singing and.
Woo. Oh gosh, you guys would be sick of me because I would be such a nerd. I know. Okay, go ahead and read the next one.
The next one from Mementh. Are you a rebel? How do you help the rebellion and to find out what's being built or tested? Are you in the service to the Empire? This goes back to the Rogue One teaser trailer that was put out this past week for Star Wars.
Yeah. I would like to think that I would be a behind the scenes rebel. Like I would be part of the resistance, kind of helping mastermind things, but I'm not the soldier on the front lines or going out to battle. I would be helping strategize or coordinate or plan, because I'm a wuss.
I'm of a similar opinion. I would probably be there helping fix the X-Wings, do repairs, that kind of thing. Be on the ground, but not in the battle. Like be behind the lines, making sure that the front lines still get the thing done.
Yep.
With a little bit of espionage, maybe, just a tiny bit.
Yep. I like it. I like it.
I would not be in the service to the Empire.
No. I do not.
Nope.
I think we have the current threat now. The Empire is Donald Trump. I am not in service of the Empire. I will say this out loud, and I probably don't think anybody will disagree with me. So there you go.
Jules is a Sith Lord, confirmed.
I'm a Sith Lord?
Yeah, that's what Chief Vol'jin said in the chat.
Oh, Chief, you know nothing, Jon Snow. All right. From 2020 site. Rebooting old content is now the Hollywood norm, and it has seeped into the gaming world with reboots like the new version of Doom. Even the Cataclysm expansion could be considered a reboot of the original WoW experience, excluding fandoms that have already been irreversibly screwed up by their reboots, i.e. Jen and the Holograms. Sorry, Jules. Which of your fandoms do you not want to see rebooted, remade, redone in the coming years? My answer is He-Man and Masters of the Universe. It was delightfully bad, and I absolutely loved it when I was little. Lol.
Aren't they actually writing a new He-Man and the Masters of the Universe movie?
They are. Yeah, there's a new one coming out, which kind of makes my eyes go, bull.
Yeah. I saw an ad for Gem and the Holograms, and I just kind of almost threw up in my mouth a little bit. I was like, oh man, so bad.
So bad. Like I was actually, I'm not an evil person, but I was actually glad that it failed so miserably because of what they chose to do with it.
Yeah, they just took a generic, coming of age girl turns from a tiny little singer into this worldwide thing and just slapped Gem and the Holograms on the title.
Well, they made it Disney Channel.
Yeah.
It was totally Disney Channel, and there was nothing that was part of the original lore of it. They made Synergy Synergy was a machine, and they made in the original cartoon, and they did something jacked with it, and I don't even remember because I blanked it out. So anyway,
and you still haven't seen it yet, have you?
I refuse to see it unless.
Okay, that's what I thought.
The only time I agreed to see this was to watch it for charity, to do a view so that people would watch me watch this movie for charity because I would raise money to save pets in need or something because it's so awful. So
Let's see.
Okay, so what reboot old content? Let's see. I'm trying to think of what I would hate to have somebody redo because it was like totally part of my childhood.
For me, it's easy. It's Back to the Future.
Oh, totally.
Like, don't effing touch it.
Yeah.
Do not touch it. There is so much. It was lightning in a bottle. And granted, a lot of people poo-poo the second and third. I loved all three of them. As a whole, I loved them.
Yeah, you loved all of them. The storyline, the trilogy.
Yeah. They did a great job. They buttoned it up really well. And just leave it alone. Mm-hmm. You don't need to do it now. Even like Bob Gale said that as long as he is breathing, he will not let it happen. He will not let anybody touch Back to the Future, just reboot it or start all over, because you can't do it.
Yeah.
You can't go back. You can't go back in time, because if you go back 30 years now, it'd be the 80s.
Yeah.
Or the 90s, actually. No, yeah, it'd be the 80s.
Yeah.
And it just wouldn't work. It would be dumb, and it wouldn't work, and you wouldn't be able to do it right. The more I see about Ghostbusters, the more disappointed I am.
Me too.
Because the comedy was different back then. Mm-hmm. If you watch Ghostbusters, the comedy is very subdued. It's very verbal, intelligent. It's along for the ride of this sci-fi horror / comedy.
Yeah.
The new one looks like slapstick and yelling, and it's not the kind of comedy that I want to see.
That's what it is. That's the problem, because, there were so many iconic lines in the original Ghostbusters. Things that will stick with me for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
When someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes. And like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Tell me about the Twinkie. That's a big Twinkie. So the one I would choose is Goonies.
Good call.
Do not reboot Goonies. Because I loved that movie so much when I was a kid, to the point where I had the single cassette tape of Cyndi Lauper singing "Good Enough." It's good enough for you. It's good enough. That one.
Yeah.
I loved that song. I read the book. Remember how they used to write books after a movie came out so that it was like the book that followed the movie? I loved the book, even though it was like the retelling of the movie in book form. So don't do it. Just don't. It was too special.
Yeah, those things were special in their time, and they were created. That'd be like trying to remake Blazing Saddles. You cannot do that.
Oh gosh.
You can't.
That humor would never live today.
No way. It wouldn't get off the writer's desk.
No.
And so don't touch it. Don't touch Back to the Future. Don't touch the Goonies. I wish if you were going to have touched Ghostbusters, I would have wished you'd done a different direction, because you're still going to get my money.
Yeah.
So I'm still going to see it.
Ugh. And for the record, I have no problem that they've decided to make the cast members female. That is not a problem with that at all. It's the way
I'm even
that
cool with the casting.
Yeah, it's just the way that they've chosen to infuse the humor.
Yeah.
In today's world, taking that from the different point. So no, I agree with you.
When one of the cast members' entire shtick is yelling. Every time a funny scene with one of the Ghostbusters comes up, she's yelling at something. That's too easy. Yeah. It's too just lazy.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, I actually like the part when, I forget her name, but the one with the glasses, she has the wig on.
Yep.
And when she scares, she's like, is the hat too much? Is it the wig or the hat? That was funny.
Yeah.
Because it was, but the rest of it, I'm kind of like, oh, come on. Don't show entire scenes of a movie in the trailer. I already know she's going to be okay. Stupid.
Yeah, Kate McKinnon, I think, is probably going to be the best one out of all of them.
And she's the one with the glasses. Blonde with glasses. Yeah. Yep. The new Egon. Yeah.
Yep. So I think she is going to be the most enjoyable out of all of them. But
that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah. And there's one last one. Let's read that one.
We are very salty about our movies.
We are.
This is why I kind of wanted to do a movie podcast at
some
point. I got opinions about movies.
My opinions here.
Yeah. The last one from, is it Rita FM?
Yep.
And the cat's knocking off stuff.
Hi, Pixie, you brat.
Quit knocking off things. What do you want?
She is a brat today.
Yeah. So from Rita FM, what's your favorite video game from 2005 or earlier that you think people might not know about. So no cheating cop-outs like Mario or Pac-Man. I personally love quest-based city builders like Pharaoh and Zeus.
See, this is hard for me because I played a lot of mainstream games in the 90s and early 2000s, a time frame that she's kind of thinking about that would have been obscure. I guess if you want to go classic, Sega Genesis had Columns. Do you remember Columns? Did you ever see Columns?
Not that I can think of.
So Columns was like, it was like Tetris, but it had it had 3 gems in a row. It's kind of it's like a mix of Bejeweled and Tetris. Kalani remembers this game.
Okay.
They were colored, and you could rotate them inside the rectangle. It was only like a straight rectangle, and then you're matching like 3 diagonals straight across. So you had to rotate it. Dr. Mario is what it was like. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I loved Columns. I loved Dr. Mario. Those were the kinds of games that I loved. And my college roommate had a Sega Genesis system in our room. So the guys would always come over and they would play the hockey game, the NHL hockey game on Sega Genesis, and the Columns game was mine. Like that was the thing I loved, and I played the crap out of that game. And they actually made an emulator for it on Steam that I saw, and I went bonkers, and I bought it, and then I played it.
Oh,
and
nice!
It was like, yeah, this isn't as fun as it used to be.
Aw, you remembered it better.
I did remember it better. That's true. So, but Columns would be my game, and I don't know if many people knew about that.
Yeah, I didn't know much about that one.
Yeah.
For me, it would have to be 2 different games, both on the PS2, I think it is. Yeah. Well, actually, one of them was on Dreamcast.
Okay.
The first one is a game that came out in 2001 called Rez, and it was kind of a on the rails shooter that had like all these kind of like vector line things, and you were a computer program traveling through these channels, and you could lock onto enemies with a little reticle and fire, and it was musical. Like it was a musical game. Like as you were playing, like go watch a video.
Look at the chat room is going nuts.
Oh yeah, people
this.
remember Rez. I loved Rez. It was so good, and it was so much fun because the music was good and had a nice beat to it. It was very kind of electronic, and I loved it. Loved that game. So, and the other one is a game. It was the sequel to a game called Frequency. Now this was done by the people who eventually did Guitar Hero Harmonix, and this game is called Amplitude. Mm-hmm. And Frequency was just like with Guitar Hero. You're on a rail and you've got 3 buttons that you could push, like in the old Guitar Hero games. But Frequency, you were traveling through this like a hexagon, and each lane, and you could switch and rotate the whole thing around. And each lane was a different part of the music. One was the drums track. Uh-huh. The next was the synth, then the vocals, then the guitar or the pads for the synth pads. And you would just complete them in sections and switch lanes. And it was so very moving around and shooting stuff. And then Amplitude flattened out the plane completely to where you have like 6 lanes, and you just travel on this little rocket thing. And it was so much fun.
Oh, wow.
So much fun. So both of them are kind of musical games. And Amplitude came out in 2003. So I loved, and Kalani's right there with me with Frequency. It had like Power Man 5000, Paul Oakenfold. Amplitude had a really nice remix of Everyone Says Hi by David Bowie on it. Uh-huh. So when David Bowie passed earlier this year, I had to pull up on YouTube and listen to that mix of Everyone Says Hi because I loved it back in the day.
Aww.
And I wanted to hear it again. So these,
awesome.
I love rhythm games, love them, and so those are mine too.
I miss Guitar Hero too. I had fun with that game.
Oh yeah,
I had fun.
I played the new one. There's a demo at work for it, and it's different now, and it's not as fun because now it's got a lot. It's like Guitar Hero Live, and you're sitting there, and they have a camera on like a guitar player, and they actually packed a venue with a fake band that would play along, and as you're playing the song at key points in the song, if you're doing better or worse, the screen will shimmer and the crowd will react to you. So if you're doing bad, people will just kind of look at you in disgust and like, oh, what's going on? Ugh. Boo, boo. If you're doing well, they just start lifting their hands, get out their phones and wave them. But it's awkward. The guitar thing is actually supposed to be more akin to playing a real guitar, and I think that's where it's not as good because I had a lot of fun pressing the buttons because I don't play guitar. I play Guitar Hero. So it's different, and I didn't quite like it. But I miss the old Guitar Hero. I loved it.
Gotcha.
That was a good question.
That was a good question. The chat room goes bonkers. By the way, guys, if you ever want to watch the chat room along with the live stream, go to Twitch. Go to our Twitch page because they've recently implemented the replay with the chat room alongside of it, so you can actually watch the conversation happen, which is awesome. So, and I have to make sure I remember to highlight them too because it's always there. Reese's here, and she's in Marconin's arms. And with that,
she was looking up at me.
She wanted the hug, so we're gonna let you pet her, and we're gonna do some feedback right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now bring you. Whoa, that's a lot of feedback.
There's a lot of feedback. Then we do have feedback. We've got a letter regarding the question about wage theft from last week's episode. And this one is from Vayrin / Keisha. And she says, hi, I wanted to give feedback on your question regarding the be ready to work on time at a call center issue. I have a background in national human resources and currently work in a call center for a national carrier who was sued for wage theft for having an on-time policy. She gave a link for the NLRB, which we have forwarded to our writer, Katie. She then says, also, anytime you are clocked in and not paid, it is wage theft, period, regardless of your profession or any pay in lieu of time they provide you in any state. Here's how my company dealt with it. You don't clock in until your shift, but all shifts have a 7-minute get ready time. This is absolutely paid time, and it is designed to allow you to get your systems running. In our case, open our billing system, prep our phones, get all tools up that need to be running to do our jobs, and be ready to take the first call when you auto in. This is a direct result of the lawsuit 10 or 12 years ago and has been in place a long time. It's work time, and we aren't allowed to go to the bathroom, get coffee, or otherwise dink around. Again, however, there are no states with laws that allow you to be clocked in and unpaid. Even lunch hours are non-paid and you clock out for them. They are your time and your employer cannot control time they do not pay you for. Any other arrangement is 100% illegal, just like pay gag orders where this is where employees tell you you can't talk about your pay. Employers get away with normal but illegal things because most of us are ignorant of the law, and we let it happen. I give Katie a lot of kudos for trying to stand up, and I want to encourage her to keep reaching out. The NLRB will help and will get her some of the resources she needs.
That's great.
Yeah, so this was awesome. This is why, even when Marconin and I don't know the answer to a letter like that one, we were having a little bit of struggle with a good answer to it. That's why we read them. Because the audience always seems to know. So
yeah, there's somebody out there that can help us. So thank you so much, Keisha, for that. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. And with that, it is time for the Slash Moos. Erlina, if you're still here, I saw you threw a Slash Moo in there earlier and I didn't grab it. Could you put it back in? And while we're reading the other ones. Okay, cool. Starting from the top.
Yep. First off, we've got from Rita FM, /moo to everyone on Discord for being super supportive of me through everything from alcoholism to YouTube.
From Mocktailed, /moo to Morgan Grimes of CTR for taking time out of their gameplay to craft me an overcharged capacitor for a leveling quest. Oh, I remember that quest. I really appreciate the effort and alt jumping they went through to help me out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
From Nymphadora, /moo to a buddy this week for helping me get a gig that allows me to be inventive and creative. He knows who he is.
And from Razor70, /moo to Cuddles from the Converted podcast. He is just an all-around great guy, always make me laugh, and he is so friendly.
Yes, he is.
Yes. Erlina had one earlier that went by, and I didn't get a chance to grab it. I do believe it was a /moo for her. There it is. /moo to my chorus, who won first place small chorus and most improved chorus at our regional Sweet Adelines convention this weekend. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
I like that.
Yes. Do you have any /moos? Anything you want to give this week?
Um, I don't think so. Well, I guess slash moo to everybody that said nice things to me this week as things are kind of crappy the previous 2 weeks, and I really appreciate that from everybody on Twitter and in Discord and who sent me messages in game. I appreciate it, and so thank you everybody.
Yes.
I know I know there's a lot out there that's got my back, so that definitely helps. So slash moo to all you guys.
Yes. And my slash move the week goes to my ladies from Hots Ladies Night, Jocelyn, Nevermore, Jen, and Barber. I love you, and thank you all for showing me how awesome it is to have such good and smart ladies as friends, because it's amazing.
Absolutely.
Yes. All right. So, is that everything? Those are all the slash moves. My goodness. Our show is available on iTunes, on Stitcher Radio, on our website at torrenthinktank.com. You get to see all of our pieces in there. Website has the podcast and the YouTube videos, and that is awesome. Solomio threw in a last minute slash move to Jules for her Li Ming shot and for Kalani for proving it in a GIF. By the way,
oh yeah, that was so cool.
So I'll tell that quick story. It was so cool. I have to give slash move to Kalani for being awesome and providing amazing gifts of things that we do and videos. I had an amazing Li Ming play last night where I flanked around a retreating teammate and I nuked 2 players that were pursuing him, which was amazing and so cool. We had, and so I showed it to Kalani this morning, and then he made a GIF of it, and I could put it on Twitter, and I'm like, look at my cool play as Li Ming.
That is, it was a fantastic play. It makes me want to play Li Ming so bad.
I was playing a solo queue. I squealed, like I was by myself. I squealed like, oh my God. And then, oh my God, it was great. It was great. He just put a link in the chat room so you guys can see it. It is really, really cool. And then, of course, there was another Diablo that was behind them and turned around and ran when he saw the orb coming that I shot. All right, back to it. So let's see. iTunes, Stitcher, website, talked about all that stuff. What is happening? Anything that you want to plug for this week while Reese decides she wants to wrap herself around your neck?
Yep, she's being very needy right now, but she's adorable.
She is.
Oh, now she wants down.
Okay.
Such is the life of a cat.
Yes.
Let's see. I've been doing a little bit more streaming with Overwatch. So you'll be able to catch that. I made a nice simple overlay that I'm really proud of. It's nothing too extravagant, but I was happy with it. So I've been doing that. So just stay tuned to my Twitter feed for that. Probably throw it up on the Triple T Gaming channel, which is this same channel, yes. Twitch.tv/TaurenThinkTank. Think Tank. And trying to think what else I'm doing this week other than still on the job hunt and going to work while I can. It's just the normal thing for me this week. There's not really anything big that I can think of.
Okay.
Can't talk about a lot of the things that's gone on lately, but
I know. Such
is the nature of the topics at hand. So yeah, what about you, Jules? What's going on for you this week? Some Hots Lady tonight?
Hots Lady tonight on Tuesday.
Get sick?
Yes, I will not get sick for this one because I really, really want to play. Come and hang out with us for that stream because it supports my dear friend Jocelyn at twitch.tv/JossPlays. You get to hear us have a blast and add crazy quotes to her Jospot in her Twitch chat, which is just so much fun. So yes, we will. So come hang out on Ladies Night, drinking and swearing on Friday night, twitch.tv/Zug for the amazing Pat Crane. And also, I got to plug a case of the Mondays because we've been having so much darn fun. Monday afternoons at 2 p.m. Central, it's Zug and I. We do a show about crazy news and awesome independent music. And he does a quiz on me every week that I don't know what it's going to be. And I usually get it wrong, and it's awesome. And again, it's called A Case of the Mondays. Love that show. It's just our total silly project that has turned into something really, really, really fun. So
it's the best part about my Monday.
I love my Mondays for that. So yes, those are all the things that are going on. There's, like we said, there's like a ton of stuff we can't talk about because We can't yet, but we will. We hope so, because it's really, really cool when that stuff happens. So, yeah, that's everything that's been going on. So, with that, we're going to bring this baby home so we can watch some Heroes of the Dorm in a couple of minutes. Yes!
Who are you rooting for?
ASU, ASU, ASU. Arizona State. Let's go. Dream team.
Yeah.
Go Michael Udall.
I think that's who I'm leaning on as well. So yeah, it'll be good.
ASU. That's my team right now. They better win so that my bracket can stay intact. So.
Oh, that's right.
I know.
No busted brackets, please.
No busted brackets. All right, with that, let's bring the show to a close right now. Tauren Think Tank is a proud member of the Signals Media All-Star Network. Find out more about the other great shows in the network by going to signalsmedia.com.
Portions of the music and sound effects heard on this show can be found at incompetech.com and freesound.org. You can also find us outside of the show on our website, and that is torrenthinktank.com, which has all of our podcasts on there as well as information on how to get in touch with us too.
Thank you to all who support our show via Patreon. If you'd like to help out Triple T, you can do so at patreon.com/torrentthinktank.
You can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/torrentthinktank. You can also find us on the Twitter for the show at torrentthinktank. You can find the lovely Jules at Jules RPG and myself, Marconin, at Marconin Wow.
I'm sorry. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, chat room, for being with us tonight and hanging out every Sunday night at 8 o'clock Central Daylight Time. You can find the video stream at twitch.tv/torrentthinktank, mobile audio through Alpha Geek Radio at tunein.alphageekradio.com. We love seeing you here with us anytime you can be here.
Yes.
Yes. Marconin, great show tonight.
Yes, ma'am. Great show for you. And great show for you too.
Great show for you. Great show for me. This is all how it works. And we'll see you guys next week. Hey, by the way, send us questions. Again, more questions. We can definitely use them. More questions.
More questions, more topics, more ideas, more thoughts, more everything.
Otherwise, we'll have to make them up, and then you never know what's going to happen.
Never know.
We'll see you guys next week. For myself, for Marconin, for the entire chat room. Until next time, /moo, everybody.
/moo. Tauren Think Tank. We make your problems less bad.
This podcast is a part of the Signals Media All-Star Network. For more information on this and other fine shows, go to signalsmedia.com. It's okay to stick our stuff in your ears. Really?
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 Yay! Yay!
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Yo, can we get some show titles up in here now?
Yo, we need show titles. I know Draven had some.
Yeah.
Garrus is all conked out on my pillow.
I almost said in the games, what was it? Crash Bandicoot for PlayStation. Because I love that game. But I was thinking relatively recently, and I was like, yeah, Res and Frequency. That was before 2005.
Yeah.
So I had to go back.
I'll have to show off my t-shirt because it's from Loot Gaming, the box. But it's so cool because it's all the Mario stuff.
Mm-hmm. I wore that one yesterday.
I know. So when I look at my cat, I look like she's looking at Marconin. Yeah, because he's over there. Hi, Marconin. Hi.
Hey, Jules. It's good to see you. High five.
Oh, high five.
Dink. Sunshine and flowers up your butt. Yeah.
No.
What was the one? There was another one.
I think.
Oh yeah, Jet Set Radio. That's a good call out there, Kalani. I remember that
had one. Bim, did you had something in there? I saw it go by, and I don't keep track of these.
What was the one? Parappa the Rapper. Oh, Beautiful Joe is another one that I loved for GameCube.
I have no idea what that is.
Oh, it was cool. It was you're a superhero in a movie, and you could actually slow down time and do your own bullet time effects, and then speed up time and do all this other stuff. And it was actually a really cool game. It was.
We have beef.
It was so neat.
We have beef. We have beef with movies.
Yep. Oh yeah. I've had many a discussion about Batman versus Superman with coworkers and people as well.
I love how Nifadora asked Beyonce why he knows that Jet Set is the name of a gay porn studio. He might be gay.
Might be.
Considering he named himself after Beyonce, he might
learned individual.
Jay, I love you. We have beef is the I'm not doing flowers and sunshine up your butt, even though it's good. I like that.
You could do flowers and sunshine, but that wouldn't. I don't know.
The hell happened to my camera on your thing?
It was when you lifted your shirt, it changed the color.
Oh,
when you raised your shirt, I should say, not lifted your shirt. Well, I'm glad the show's not on the show because now it's not explicit. See, now the color went back. The color went back. Thank you and good night. Well, there you have it, folks. And that's the game.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That was great. Yeah, you totally broke me. Oh, I'm writing this down now.
Oh.
I'm totally done. Poor Marconin.
Oh, my face hurts now.
I'm breathing.
Mm-hmm. I do remember Pilot Wings. I remember Pilot Wings on was it Super Nintendo that the first one was on, and the guy just started yelling at me because I didn't control the plane right, and then I got mad because he was yelling at me, and I didn't ever play it again.
I hate your game because you yell at me.
Yeah, it was like, you are doing badly. You need to turn around. What are you doing? You suck at this. Your mother was a hamster and your father smelt of elderberry. What?
What?
That's not right.
That's unfair.
Yeah, he started yelling at me, and I never played it. I never even played Pilot Wings 64 when they re-released it on the N64. I didn't want to play it.
Boy, you guys there was a lot of you here tonight. Do you guys like this time better because this is it's early for us, but
it's very early. I had a friend that had the Sega CD, I never had one. I never actually. The only Sega system I owned was a Game Gear. I never had a Genesis or a CD or a Sega Saturn. I was a Nintendo dude until the PlayStation came out.
Yeah.
And then I'm still a PlayStation guy.
Yeah, I never owned a console myself. But yeah, it was my roommate who had it in college, the Sega Genesis. So yeah, it is weird to do it early, but we said, and for those that were not here during pre-show, we are considering possibly moving the day of the show to in a weekday night, like Wednesday or Thursday, depending on how things shake out with Marconin's schedule. And so we are thinking about actually changing off of Sundays just because there's too many things that seem to happen on Sundays, holidays and stuff. So
Heroes of the Dorm and stuff.
Heroes of the Dorm. Yeah,
Plus
it's kind of hard for an
Father's Day.
esports fan, I gotta say.
Yep. So you said is it Sling.tv?
SlingTV.com.
You got to put in your credit card and all that?
You do, but you can cancel it before it actually charges it. It's a 7-day free trial.
Okay. I'm going to have to remember that.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, they did rebroadcast it on the Twitch channel for Heroes after it aired on ESPN. So
yeah, that's no fun though.
I know, because then you can't watch it live. So
yeah. Let's see. Best of Live TP package. Yeah, that's it.
And all you need is ESPN2, so you can just sign up for the free trial. Yesterday, I had to actually buy the thing because I wanted to watch the semis, which was on ESPNU.
Oh yeah.
So, since I am a cord cutter and I do not have cable.
Yeah, I've got rabbit ears at the house. So I don't. YouTube is my television. I come home and I sit down and I watch YouTube, watch all my channels and see what they've got cooked up for the day.
Yeah, it's kind of shitty that an online tournament is not available on online sources that are free. You have to pay in order to get it.
I think that was probably the agreement with ESPN, is that they had to black out the rest of the country and all that. So I understand.
Yeah.
I just don't like it.
I don't like it either. Oh, swax. Ew. I hope you guys don't get the flu. Ugh. I wonder what happened to the guy who slammed video games. That was Colin Coward, and he wound up getting fired, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Draven confirmed it. He got fired. I think he was just an ass overall.
Yeah, I think it was a symptom of a greater problem. He just wouldn't. He just didn't let up, and eventually got let go.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, all right, lovelies.
Oh, Kalani, I see you're on the division now.
All right, my lovelies, we're going to sign out so we can get in to start watching Heroes of the Dorm. If you come in and you want to hang out in the Triple T Discord and cheer on the teams, please do. Come on in. I will be there shortly, and we will be chatting it away. So,
yeah, folks, we will see you next week.
Yes.
Enjoy your Heroes of the Dorm. If you watch it, enjoy your week. If you don't, and I will see you next Sunday.
See you next Sunday. /move, everybody.
/move, folks. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.